Hey guys, it's Protendo, and creating a new Smash fighter is a process that I don't think we'll ever fully understand the depth of. Not only do you have to ensure that you create a character that stands out among the rest of Ultimate's ginormous roster, but said character also has to be a good representation of their game, or sometimes even series, and fit the conventions of the sort of game Smash is. I can only imagine how daunting it is to have to analyze a character's entire legacy in order to make them a good addition to Smash Bros. And because there's so much work that goes into every fighter, it's only logical that some will be represented better than others. Whether it be from age, overuse of moves, or countless other factors, many characters in Ultimate's roster don't exactly represent themselves in the best way possible. Key examples of this are most of the original 12, as their movesets have simply been built upon since Smash 64 without many insane changes. And that becomes somewhat problematic when you consider the fact that none of these characters are the same as they were 20 years ago. Luckily, the newcomers in Ultimate, and specifically Ultimate's DLC, have been really well represented for the most part. Sakurai and the Smash Ultimate team have gone out of their way to give characters features that differentiate them from everyone else, and represent their series in interesting ways. Sakurai himself has stated that he wants every DLC fighter to stand out. And with this mindset came what I believe to be the best represented character in the history of Smash Bros. No need to drag it out any longer, you've seen the title and thumbnail, I'm of course referring to Steve from Minecraft. Steve was, and still is, a very controversial character. In fact, many wouldn't call him a character at all. There were always debates about how Steve could be implemented into Smash in a way that would suit his character, and if he had enough going for him to make him stand out. I always thought it was obvious that he had the potential to be a fighter, taking Minecraft's vast assortment of weapons and items into account, but many only looked at weapons like the sword and bow and thought a Mii sword fighter costume would be more befitting of Steve. Even back then I wasn't all that fond of the idea, but now that Steve is in our hands, it's all the more evident how being a simple costume would have been a terrible waste of potential. Simply put, Steve is one of the most important characters we've gotten in Smash history, not just because of his high sales numbers and wide recognizability, but because his implementation shows us that Smash movesets can be more complex and personalized than we had ever imagined before. After Steve's trailer was shown, Sakurai was quick to explain that Steve was one of the most difficult characters that he's ever had to put into Smash. His mechanics were so fresh and different that every single one of Smash Ultimate's 109 stages had to be reworked in order for him to function, and I feel like that's when most people, myself included, truly grasped how much effort was put into making Steve the pure embodiment of Minecraft. Because that's what he is. Steve is Minecraft, the character. And I know that sounds like a well duh sort of thing to say, but never before has Smash Bros portrayed a character as the culmination of their game to this extent. The first thing you notice with Steve is obviously his design, and this was another talking point of the community before his reveal, one that was even more prevalent than his supposed lack of moveset potential. In the eyes of many, Steve's design was the only thing holding him back. His blocky, abrupt nature would apparently be too unfitting for Smash. Although, on the other side of the fence, many seem to agree that Steve would be perfect so long as he was given a tad more fluidity in his animations, similar to what we see in the Minecraft update trailers. But Sakurai said absolutely not, and instead stayed as close to the source material as possible, as he often does, leaving Steve to follow his Minecraft animations to a T. And the best thing is that people were right. Steve often does look out of place, but they'd be silly to think that it wasn't intentional. Simply looking at how player-controlled Steve looks in his taunts or even victory screens makes it abundantly clear that this wasn't a matter of being lazy, but a matter of representing Minecraft in the best way possible. And that's something that wouldn't have been achieved nearly as well if he was given fluidity for the sole purpose of blending in with the rest of the Smash roster. But enough about Steve's design, let's move on to his moveset, the true crown jewel of this character. Back when I made my Show Me Your Moves episode on Steve, a series that you guys should check out by the way, I'm working on an Imposter from Among Us episode, the mechanics I gave to him were much simpler than the ones he would eventually receive in his official moveset. Mining and building weren't included whatsoever, and crafting different randomly acquired materials to make items was the main gimmick. This wasn't the case because of a lack of creativity, at least I hope not, but because I wasn't sure how far I could push things with the character if elements from his game could truly function in Smash Bros. And looking back, my Steve absolutely doesn't represent the Titan that Minecraft is in the most optimal way. It plays things much too safe. But of course, Sakurai and his team didn't make the same mistakes I did. Because while I was only thinking about how Steve could work within the status quo, Sakurai chose to break the status quo in favor of creating a character that represents their game to an incredible degree. Ignoring the character's dozens of other attacks, the simple ability to build, mine, and craft does so much for the originality of this character. To say that these features are game-changing is an understatement, because as much as they do alter Smash Ultimate's gameplay, what's more exciting is what dedication like this can mean for future characters. The amount of possibilities new fighters can bring over from their home games now seems nearly endless, all because Steve over here opened the floodgates. Sakurai said himself that representing Minecraft well in Smash Bros was an impossible task, yet they did the impossible. And not just to a satisfactory degree, no, they gave us the best represented character that Smash Bros has ever seen in its 2 decades of existence. While it's hard to say that things could go up from here, I'm more excited than ever to see what Sakurai and his team have cooked up for us next. But anyways guys, that's about it for this video. What do you think? Is Steve the best represented character in Smash? And if not, what character would you argue is? Let me know in the comments below. Protendo, out.